Srila Prabhupada ki Gayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivraja Sisi Manta Divas Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Sarasvati Thakur Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Prem Sri Kaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudhi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopaswami Prabhu Shamakun Radhakun Gilgovadan Shri Vrindavan Shri Mayapudan Jagannath Puridan Ganga Mai Jamuna Mai Tulasi Devi Bhakti Devi Sri Harinam Sankirtan Nitai Gaur Premanandi Samveda Bhakta Vrinda toute gloire aux dévots assemblés. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Guru Maharaj. So it's nice, huh? We already know each other, all of us now. It's almost. Also, you speak English?
Yeah, I can speak English.
Everybody English? Okay. Okay. So this is a Prabhupada evening, every Thursday, and also today we celebrate the Hare Krishna, the anniversary of the incorporation of the ISKCON society. It was in 66. Right. 66, and so now it's 66, that's 46 years ago. Yeah. Oh my God, Shri Gurudev Shri Chaitanya So together we are trying to, as servant of Srila Prabhupada and the Guru Parampara, we are trying to glorify them and appreciate our heritage, what we receive from them. So Yaya Prabhu told me that it's nice to hear about practical experience about Srila Prabhupada and early ISKCON. You come out like that. I just read a quote from Jiva Goswami in one book, interesting, in relation to ISKCON. A quote where he wrote a letter to Srinivas Acharya and Narottam Das and Shyamananda Pandit. He wrote them a letter, in substance saying, so you take the books of Sri Rupa Goswami and other Goswamis, and you go to preach them. You go to Bengal and you preach them amongst the devotees and amongst all the people of Bengal, according to you spread these teachings, and also take care of your personal conduct, like that he says. And the third thing I remember from this letter, and the third thing he said, and preach the strategies. He said the strategies, as I have told you, about developing this the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So three things are there, the books of the Goswamis, make them known, and your personal conduct, and also strategies of preaching the mission. So it's nice to hear this letter from Jiva Goswami. Well, first because it is like because Jiva Goswami was like the recipient. He was part of the six Goswami, and in one sense also he was like the recipient of all their teachings and research and service like that. He was younger, so when they became very old and about to pass away, they entrusted to him. He was the chief of the new, blossoming movement, Lord Chaitanya. He was very qualified as one of the six Goswamis, as a great scholar. All of them were very great, intelligent personalities, plus very renounced, Viraga Vidya, Nijabhakti Yoga, like that, really into this Lord Chaitanya's bhakti, and they had nice qualities. very high qualities, as you know, as it is a fact from someone who is linked with God, and especially with Krishna, and especially with Lord Chaitanya. It is so, you know, Namo Mahavardhanyaya Krishna Prema Pradeyate. So this Krishna Prema, this love of God, full of feelings and emotions in relationships to the person of Krishna, in his personal life. So that is great, you know, it's very... So persons, devotees who are recipient of this, or in this line, Lord Chaitanya, naturally, these feelings, this in relationship with Lord Krishna, creates very nice qualities. Not creates, reveal nice qualities. You know, the spirit soul is, you know, Bhagavad Gita, more brilliant than, you know, millions of suns. Very small, nicely covered. You know, you don't see any brilliance coming out of them. But you know, Krishna, you know, is more brilliant and potent than millions of suns. So the spirit soul is part and parcel of Krishna. So he has also all, you know, almost all of Krishna's quality, but in minute quantity. But when it is, you know, in full, complete, compact consciousness, Krishna consciousness, then those qualities just, you know, become wonderful. So this Goswami, you know, Jiva Goswami, Vairagya, Vidya, and Bhakti Yoga, through their very intimate devotion with Lord Chaitanya, they are manifested, you know, many qualities among them, you know, this detachment, total detachment, detachment from the world, and knowledge. Yeah, they gave up, although there were... This is nice. I mean, our ancestors, our devotional ancestors, Sri Goswamis, they were very, you know, high-class people. Prime Minister, Finance Minister, and, you know, they knew many languages, different, you know, Persian, Arabic, Sanskrit, Bengali, like that. They were respected by, you know, the whole society, the Bengal, the king, I mean, they were high-class people. So they renounced all that. Why? Because, you know, Jnana, Bhakti Jnana or Vigya, because they knew that the relationship with Krishna, Bhakti Rasa, is Amrita, is nectar. And not only it's nectar, but it's Sindhu, it's an ocean, it's great and deep. So this knowledge, you know, it's not ordinary knowledge, it's not just intellectual knowledge, it's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu knowledge. So yes, this is Goswami Vrindavan, Jiva Goswami. And Jiva Goswami, it's interesting, yeah, to hear about him like that, because, you know, and also because through this letter, he was starting the ISKCON, you know, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He started it, you know, became known as Gaudiya Mission, different names, you know, Gaudiya Mission, you know, Gaudiya Mahat, ISKCON, same mission, same movement. So this is the start. From the books of the Goswamis, you have to, you know, distribute those teachings, apply them yourself, you know, acharyas in your own life, and preach according to the strategies I've given to you. I wonder what are the strategies that Jiva Goswami gave to his three Sankirtan team. But one thing is that they were all very united, all those three, Srinivas, Narottam and Nishamananda. They were very united. I can speculate for two reasons. First one, they were all attached to Jiva Goswami. Very, very high personality, devotional, scholarly, historical, and what. They're very much attached to him. And the second, because the mission was not easy. They had to go, I don't know how many kilometers from Vrindavan to Bengal, more than 1,000 kilometers to go through, jungles with, wild animals and dacoits, and I mean, it's like that. So it was a difficult journey, and also the mission, what we're going to say, who are we going to meet, and, some, maybe some people who are very nice, greater than us, from Bengal, they knew Chaitanya, descendant, or maybe some people who have deviated, some, speculations, or maybe some people who are opposed to. So it's, it was the start of the mission. Anyway, then I'm not speaking about my experience. I'm giving a big, lecture like that, but it's not. Anyway, let's go fast now. We go through the centuries. And we arrive in, in the 19, 14, 15, 16, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta retired, from, it's really mystical, It's not so mystical now. Anyway, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta received the full teachings and mercy of his father and Guru, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Gopaswami Prabhu. And before, relaunching the mission. Of course, we should speak about Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Baladeva. We should speak about, ISKCON movement. Gaudiya. We spoke about Jiva Goswami, and then the next big step of ISKCON or Gaudiya mission was from Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Yeah, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was. I speak Portuguese?
Yeah.
No, speak only English.
Okay, better English. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was the father of the modern Sankirtana movement. Everything that we have now all over the world that Srila Prabhupada implemented, it was planned by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He really created the blueprint of what would be the Sankirtana movement all over the world. He revived the Namaharta preaching that was established by Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu gave the concept and he put into practice, really clarified and put into practice this preaching, congregational preaching as the means to conquer over the influence of Kali Yuga, to spread the Sankirtana movement. We got the views in the beginning in Prabhupada's beginning Krishna consciousness in the West. We got used to life in temples, ashrams, This was just the beginning. And I believe Srila Prabhupada knew very well that in time the temples ashrams would not be so prominent, and most of the preaching would be conducted through congregation, because this can be very, very fast, can really touch many, many people. We are not so much established a religion with temples as we, and you see most of the religions established in the world, there's churches like cathedrals and all, mosques and temples and whatever. We are not so much a religion of temples and churches, but we are a religion of congregations where, you know, by this means we would establish temples in every home, you know, like congregational preaching, you know, temples would be established in every home, simple temples. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he really got the clear understanding of the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and how to adjust it to modern society. He appreciated, you know, something that historically we consider that the fact that the British were occupying India was a bad thing because they destroyed Vedic culture, and they did so. They really destroyed Vedic culture in many ways and introduced different Western views that polluted the purity of that Vedic culture. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually appreciated the fact that India was occupied by the British at that period of time. So it was very strategical how this time, that particular time, the British were in India, because like this he learned the English language, and through the English language he learned the culture of the West. And he said this was very important to know the philosophies that were very much impressive in the minds of people in the West, you know, what they liked the most, what was their train of thoughts, what was their philosophies of life. And he studied all that. He studied Christianity very deeply, and you really appreciate Christianity. He studied Judaism and Muslim religion, and he learned the language of those religions, like he learned Urdu, which is spoken by the Muslims. So he really imbibed the culture of the West in order to find a ways to introduce Krishna consciousness in that culture. He was a very practical person, a very intelligent person. He knew that many things in the West were good in traditional religions. They were good, and many philosophies had many very positive points, very interesting points. So he didn't want to create a movement that would destroy all these things that exist in the West, all these thoughts, all these philosophies, and just introduce Vedic thoughts. He understood that many of these philosophies have something very, 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 very positive. So then he could add to that the principles of Krishna consciousness. And so that was also very good. And Srila Prabhupada, our Srila Prabhupada imbibed the teachings of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur when he started his movement. One of the things Srila Bhaktivinoda used to do, spend like an hour every day pacing on his terrace of his house, the roof of his house, like in India, there's always have a roof we can walk on. You know, you pace and contemplating the questions, thinking about the questions Western people would ask. He had himself confronted these type of questions because he had very good contacts with the intelligentsia at that time, in the British and German also, and Indians alike, you know, very educated people, and he could see their doubts, could understand their doubts, and could hear their doubts. And he himself, he was kind of contemplating more of their questions and how to answer to those questions. And somehow or other this was passed to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and to his disciples, particularly Srila Prabhupada. When he came to the West, Srila Prabhupada had already a very, very good grasp, very good understanding of what was the most prominent thoughts in the West, and what was their attachments and their doubts, their misconception. He knew all that. Srila Prabhupada, from the very beginning, Srila Prabhupada had a very clear picture, and that was received from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He really revived the Vaishnavism that was mostly overtaken by very sentimentalist people at that time, Sahajias and other Apasampradayas. They were they were the prominent Vaishnavas in those days, so they were not really very representative of Lord Chaitanya's movement. And he really revived the Sankirtana movement as it is, to its real purity. He studied very nicely the teachings of Lord Chaitanya in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he made comments on that also in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and really imbibed the teachings and the intentions, the desire of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was so, he had such a deep understanding of the philosophy, the legacy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he was considered like the seventh Goswami. As we have the sixth Goswami, he was called the seventh Goswami, by other acharyas, because he really imbibed the same thread of thought that Lord Chaitanya gave to the six Goswamis to expand through their teaching, their books, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur continued expanding that same teaching, and in a very nice way, in a way that would be easy for the Western people to apply in their lives. A very, very, very practical person. And he was the first acharya to write in English. Nothing was written in English before, so he was the first writing in English. One of his books, The Life and Teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was a small booklet. It was distributed in the West in many university libraries in the West, some in Canada, United States, and England. One of them was found by a Prabhupada disciple in Canada, in one of the university. He found one copy of that book. That book was very interesting. That book was distributed, went to the West, was the first writing about Vaishnavism, about the understanding of the Absolute Truth as a person, that reached the Western countries. It was the first time. So many Indians had gone to America and other places to teach Mayavadi philosophy, like Vivekananda and so many others, but everything was just hodgepodge and just messed up the whole culture. So this was the first time that the personalism, the complete understanding of the Absolute Truth was given to the Westerners in the same year that Srila Prabhupada was born. And he also prophetized, you could say prophetized, made a prophecy that one day people from different countries, Portugal, England, Russia, China, so many places in the world would join together in its streets and Navadvip and chant Jaya Sachinanda and Jaya Sachinanda and Jaya Sachinanda together. And this was became a reality, when Srila Prabhupada brought the first disciples and disciples from different countries, to Navadvip, and they performed this great big Sankirtana procession from our place to the Mayapur Yoga Pit. It was a very great, really a grand occasion where the prophecy of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur became a reality. So he is the father. Is actually the father of the Sankirtana movement, of the modern day Sankirtana movement.
That's a good sutra about Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Jiva Goswami, the first preachers, but and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the father of the modern next step, and then we go to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. He received this modern blueprint of Lord Chaitanya's mission, and he retired under his little, roof, with linked, and for 3-4 years, he just, absorbed himself in full Krishna consciousness, chanting the holy name and studying. And then, the mission is ready to start. And just immediately, as soon as it goes out, you have the moon of Sri Bhaktisiddhanta attracts many stars. Very, cultured, young people, very qualified with that. And immediately the Gaudiya mission starts. And Sri Bhaktisiddhanta is also a specific contribution. I don't know, but like Jiva Goswami's letter, you know, the Goswami's literatures, personal conduct and strategies. So here is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, you know, starting again his contribution to India. It has to be established all over India as a bona fide, genuine Vedic movement. It has to be accepted. So he is, you know, he is preaching like anything about the Goswamis, also literatures, making sure that people don't mix with the speculations, you know, it's descending knowledge, you know, so you have to accept it like that. And his personal conduct is also, you know, Naishtika Brahmachari, very impressive personality. You know, you don't feel anything like, you know, is he bona fide or not? This what? No. You know, when some spiritualists like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta would be around, you know, you really feel, wow, you know, Vaikuntha person, he's not from this world, you know, it's like that. And the strategy, then, you know, we know the strategy, Yukta Viragya, Krishna, Nyambanda Krishna Samadhi, Yukta Viragya Muchate, you know, using everything related to Krishna, because Krishna is, you know, full of energies. So in Krishna's energies, you know, material, spiritual, all energies are wonderful, provided they are used in his service. If not, they become like, finger cut, you know, and on the floor, no use, no value, nothing. But when Krishna's energies, you know, we, persons, living entities, or things, you know, the mridanga, the loudspeaker, whatever, becomes put with the body, like the finger, then it becomes very, very useful. So, you know, Nirmala Krishna Samadhi, Yukta Viragya Vishate, Yukta Viragya, you know, he really preached that all over India. It was new, but coming from such a, you know, bona fide personality and based on Goswami's literature, he took a very important move, you know, and this we know how it was. And what was his one of the main contributions? The printing press, you know, like the Goswamis, like Jiva Goswami, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote so many books also. You know, he installed the printing press so that all this knowledge can be distributed everywhere. It was, you know, very important. He had so many newspapers and books published, you know, daily newspapers, weekly newspaper, books, and monthly news, and his brahmacharis and sannyasi were going everywhere, you know, door to door in the streets, everywhere like that. It was a big thing. I mean,
one thing, he gave so much importance to the printing press. This was given also was instruction he got from Bhaktivinoda Thakur to establish Briyat Mrindan with the printing press. And he gave so much importance to that every time they would acquire a machine for printing, because they would print themselves, you would install the printing machine as we installed the deities, with the puja and everything. Everything was installed like a deity.
Yeah.
It was like a deity. So important was the machine. But because the machine was going to be used to print books of the Goswamis, you know, his father, and his own books, he installed the printing press.
Yeah.
The whole thing was...
It's like we learned, you know, when doing book distribution, you know, that was one of the things we were taught, you know, distribute books, and it's like you put a deity of Krishna in the people's home, you know. Very nice. Anyway, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, you know, and his strategy of, you know, Yukta Viragya through the printing press, you know, and sending his preachers everywhere, no matter how like that, but, you know, the main thing is to fulfill the order of Lord Chaitanya, Yaridakautai Krishna, Yitaika Krishna Upadesh, Amakara Guru, Tanasai Desh, you know, you have to save this world, wherever you are, by becoming a guru. Oh, on my order, you just, you know, transmit Krishna Upadesh, but in the modern way, you know. And backed up by the Goswami's literatures in a modern way, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur has, you know, set up the whole thing already for the West, and to the Yukta Viragya, using everything for it. And be united, like, you know, the three first preachers of Jiva Goswami, Shamananda, Srinivas, and Narota, you know, united together. He don't send one. He said three of them, it's three pupils, and you go there, you know. and then they. So the same thing, you know, he launched this Gaudiya Math mission, you know, and you know, it's a wildfire in India, and it was like, and you know, everywhere Sri Bhaktisiddhanta was moving to train like that, you know, each station to train, you know, nobody would want to take the train with him because it would take, you know, 10 times. Each station they would stop, you know, and people were there having big, you know, festival, and it was, you know, Sri Bhaktisiddhanta's preaching was like, you know, explosion in India. It was really, you know. So, and same thing, and you know the story, you know, he asked before leaving, not just before leaving, but he was always making it as a mission. It was not a Gaudiya mission, you know, it's a group, it's not like me, it's not Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, or it's a person, no, it was a Gaudiya mission, not Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's mission, or you know, I've joined the no, I joined the Gaudiya mission. So that was very important, so he never said, you know, then after the mission is going to be, you know, one person, no, he never said that, and he said positively, you know, join together for a very efficient preaching. So we know the history, you know, as soon as he left, this instruction was not followed, but let us see it positively. It was like a transcendental shame, you know, shame, not shame, but transcendental plan, you know, because already everybody in the spiritual world had prepared themselves for the appearance of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON. You know, it was him who was already, you know, designated, you know, by all of them, you know, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sis Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Shananda, Bhaktivinoda, everybody was, you know, waiting for Srila Prabhupada to appear and fulfill the global, you know, mission, you know, the real thing, you know. So it was not time. Something, you know, so this order was not accomplished right after Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. And it was accomplished by Srila Prabhupada at the right time, by the right person. So like that, everybody was very happy in the spiritual world, you know. And as we said, you know, when Srila Prabhupada traveled on the Jaladuta, wow, there must have been a lot of people on this boat with him, you know. Lord Krishna was there, he said Prabhupada himself, all the different avatars. He had a dream, eh?
Yeah, they were rowing the boat.
They were rowing the boat, you know, for him, you know, Krishna and all different avatars of Krishna, you know. And you can be sure, I mean, it's, yeah, that everybody was there, you know, even, you know, all the spiritual personalities who are concurred to happening, to this great happening of Kali Yuga, you know, the Sankirtan movement, you know, through this humble sadhu going on the Jaladuta. Everybody was there. Even though Jesus was there, Muhammad was there in ecstasy, you know. That's it, you know. We worked so hard, you know, and now it's going to be fulfilled, you know. All the Westerners are, you know, they're kept a little pious with their preaching. And, you know, it's going to be, you know, phew, now. So they were there, and the Sis Goswamis and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta, they're not dead, you know, those personalities. The spirit soul is eternal. So those personalities, you know, spirit souls, Nitya Siddha from the spiritual world, they were there. You know, this was the accomplishment, the real total accomplishment of their preaching, the Jaladuta, you know, traveling by Srila Prabhupada. So when Srila Prabhupada, 1 year later, he finally put it on paper, you know, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Wow, that was a great, yoo-hoo, great kirtan, you know, probably, I do believe that, you know, great ecstasy, you know, in the, you know, all different levels, you know, from the earth up to Krishna Loka, you know, whatever, you know. It must have been in ecstasy, you know, because it is on all levels. It was very, very important and beautiful happening. Beautiful happening. ISKCON is like the, you know, complete blossoming of this transcendental, you know, plan to spread, you know, love of God, to free people from suffering, and to give them the real bliss of, loving Krishna, loving Vrindavan, loving Krishna's entourage, loving Krishna's, fruit, whatever, Krishna's form, and it's a great accomplishment. It's a fantastic movement. International society of Krishna consciousness, So Srila Prabhupada is known, and he wanted him to be known clearly as the founder Acharya of ISKCON. So after having said all that, he's the founder Acharya ISKCON? He's the founder Acharya ISKCON because each of those different great, transcendental personalities before him, it was their movement, but it was Srila Prabhupada who had to make it real, which is international. So he's the founder, Acharya. He's the founder and the Acharya as this movement is called. So what a very special, extraordinary person is Srila Prabhupada. And so we'll say, so natural, so humble, so like sometimes the devotees would greet him at the airport for the first time, and then, oh, he's so small. Okay, so I have to speak a little on personal experiences, I guess. So, personal experiences of Srila Prabhupada and early ISKCON, I would say now. It's a happy remembrance, very happy. Why? Because, on the same track I will speak up to now, when I met Srila Prabhupada, and when I met ISKCON, I would say the same, Instinctively, I felt like, this is something very, very, big, and very important, it's not from this world, and it is very, wow, this person, and what's going on, wow. The first minute I felt, this is, something very, 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 I did not know about, anything else before, but so I could feel that it was not like a little, creation, recent movement, and one person. No, it did not look at all like that. I felt, maybe because Srila Prabhupada, I saw him so, what's the word in English? So in one sense, so natural, on his Vyasasana, and he would come down, and he was so natural, no making up like, I am the big ambassador from the past, no, he was very natural, but some other, you could feel, wow, not only feel, but you could hear, he is transmitting something very, very big. He's transmitting very big, something bona fide, he always quotes scriptures, and this movement, and he doesn't make it just to push himself in front, no, it's just, simply himself giving out, so make the whole thing, wow, it's very serious, and bona fide, Yeah, I really felt like that with Prabhupada, He was both a real person, accessible, and the transmitter of something very deep. And that's what I felt with Sri Prabhupada. I was all of a sudden, in contact with someone like we heard about, we often say that we heard about Jesus and big personalities, that, Mohis, whatever. And all of a sudden, like many disciples of Prabhupada, I was just in front of someone from, coming from, more, from the Bible, or Quran, from the Veda. I learned a little from the Veda before, the rishis, anachoret, words and visions, wow. And all of a sudden, I was with someone from there, from this world. Millions of years ago, or thousands of years ago, or in India, or on other planets, I really felt that, wow, this person is not like anybody else in the world. It's so, wow, yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic, it's really nice, Like in this, these books, Selection, Reader Digest. Okay. There was this article, the most extraordinary person I ever met, that. So that was really that, meeting Srila Prabhupada, I really felt that, wow, I have met someone who is not, not from this world, and he is linked with all these, fantastic, personalities from the scriptures, from the past, and here he is, and here I am, wow. That was so happy. Yeah, I felt so happy, many different feelings, but very happy because life otherwise was like for everybody, no meaning, no deep meaning, and a need, a desire to, life must be so nice. Maybe something so extraordinary behind this, dull, stupid life, materialistic life, So where it is, what it is, and all of a sudden, wow, Prabhupada comes, wow, I was so happy, really, instantly convinced, oh, this person is like that. And then ISKCON, his movement, experience, ISKCON, beginning, what was my experience, Same, the same, same vision, these devotees, the Hare Krishna devotees, so beautiful, so pure, so genuine, through their relationship with Prabhupada, whom they adore, follow, laugh with, or become serious with, or whatever, everybody was moving like, like those, sometimes we see in the sea, there's thousands of little fish, and we don't know how they do. But, I mean, there's one in front, and there's one in front, and then like that. Prabhupada was the one in front, and everybody was just choo choo. And it was wonderful, to feel, everybody together and happy, with Prabhupada, behind Prabhupada. That was really nice. Imagine all the people. That was it, You don't have to imagine. It was there, We're all feeling lonely, or feel the gap of this solitude with family, or some friends, or some boy, or friend, or girlfriend, or something, but it's not feeling the art, it's miserable. I mean, it's stupid, We are spirit souls, we are linked with God, with Krishna, and we are so-called satisfied, with stupid things, small, klein. But all of a sudden, with this movement, with these people, Prabhupada, and that was ISKCON, I felt, wow, this is beautiful. This is what life is, This is to be with other people like that, It's, and nothing else was there, just pure Krishna consciousness, both personal and spreading. That was only things, just chanting Hare Krishna and distributing books. That was the only thing, we knew in ISKCON. many other things around, you know, but it was really like that, you know, I felt, you know. Very pure, you know. No, you sleep on the floor, you know, you don't have any bed, you know, that was, you know. Sleep on the floor, you have a bag, you know. I came with all my luggage, I remember, you know. Came back, driving all my luggage, and, you know, next day, I had a bag, like, you know, like this, you know. Yeah, and the Swami, you know, okay, you come with me, and you put everything you need in that. Yeah, nothing. It was so nice, so pure, you know. So you felt so happy. You know. Nothing, just, you know, chanting your rounds. That was, you know, wow. I remember the temple room in ISKCON, you know. Yeah, devotees everywhere, in the corners. Everybody, not everybody, I increased a little, but, you know, many looking towards the walls, you know. And it was like that. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna. All kinds of far out ways of, you know, I want Krishna, you know, I want to do like Prabhupada said we have to do, you know, and, you know, somewhere jumping, somewhere Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna. Very pure, very intense, you know, so nice in this chanting of Hare Krishna in ISKCON, you know, wow. So sincere and so potent. It was not a joke, it was not the fanatical newcomers, no, not at all. It was, you know, disciples completely in love and ecstasy and faith with their spiritual master, you know, and chanting Hare Krishna, like, wow. Prabhupada, he comes from, you know, he's a person from another world, and he gave us something from the other world also. We can connect immediately, you know, through this chanting and through Prabhupada. Wow. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Ram. You know, somewhere I met to chant their rounds with the feet in the water, I remember. You know. Anyway, not sleep. So chanting and book distribution, preaching, you know. Yeah, I mean, it was, yeah. Yeah. I was transformed. I was not supposed at all to be a distributor of anything. It was like the last thing I would have done in life, you know, to go out, knock on the door, and it was terrible. I remember the first door I knocked, you know, a few doors, you know, the devotee told me, you do like this, I knocked the door, you know, okay, you know, I hope nobody is there. You know. And second door, you know, opens the door. You don't want the book, okay, it's okay, don't worry. So against, you know, my conditionment, you know, to do that. And so other, you know, preaching. But I have to say, for me, this preaching in ISKCON early days, you know, that was very difficult. Every day was like a, you know, transcendental, devotional torture. But you know, I'm so grateful for that, for it, you know. You know, I needed it, and it made me a devotee, at least a devotee of Lord Chaitanya and Prabhupada. Because, you know, once you do it, you can't forget that after. And it's really beyond going beyond oneself. And yeah, if we go back, you know, 30 or 40 years ago, like that, you know, we are there, and how is it to be a Hare Krishna in these days? You know, how are we? Not really, same as today. I don't feel any different. I have not left a movement and joined a new one. No, same. But how is it, you know, this phase? How are we there? We are in the 70s now. And it's very intense, very intense. Of course, one reason, which is, you know, one reason, if you are not intense, you know, the stone will drop in the water, the sound, bloop. That was a new word, you know, bloop, 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 you know. So either you are very intense intense, you know, in your chanting and in your serving, pleasing Prabhupada, or you group. There's no, you know, it's finished, you know. You cannot do it, you know, just in between or living outside, there was no question, you know. And it was real. And if you go out, you cannot make it alone, it's impossible. So very intense, you know, you cut the bridge beyond you, you know, shave up, you know, thicker, you know, and this, you cannot go back to your family like that, you know, you can, friends, it's finished, you know. And so you have to do it, you know, and forced to go, advance. So you really have to change your rounds, you know, and Krishna. What I'm doing, chanting Krishna, you know. So yeah, you have to do it, you know, because your heart, you know, and Prabhupada, you know, and very intense, very intense. Yes. And very intense also, and mainly positively, because it's you know, it's real, you know. Here we are, like, you know, Prabhupada, all of a sudden, you always, Prabhupada, you always come from the spiritual world, you know. Before we had Srila Prabhupada's biography, I remember I first got the Srila Prabhupada's biography with his photo when he was young, and everybody, wow! Like, we never thought that Prabhupada was anybody else than what we knew. You know, we never thought that Prabhupada could be young before, or we never thought that he would be, you know, passed away one day either. So we were with this person, you know, really from another world. And that made ourselves, our life, very far out also. It was far out. Yeah. So far out that we were ready to do anything. You know, it's finished. You know, we don't know anymore any rules for this world. You heard so many stories of devotees in those days doing, you know, far out things, you know. But it was like that, you know. Very intense ISKCON. About, you know, chanting Hare Krishna, you know, very, you know, like he said, we have to chant Hare Krishna with all humility, without offense, and with great longing. This is like the three main basic instructions of Lord Chaitanya for the technique of chanting Hare Krishna. Chant with, you know, humble state of mind, you know, avoid offenses, and with devotion, you know, viparamba, you know, longing, oh Krishna, you know, I need you, if you please, like that. So this was a, you know, I remember it was big like that, very chanting, you know, very humble, you know, every day, you know, you really offer your obeisances to, you know, remember, you know, the morning program, you know, every day comes, you know, like, you know, 50 devotees in the temple, one after the other, you know, 50 times you have to offer, not you have to, but you offer your obeisances, you know. It was really intense. Yeah. Yeah, my first experience with ISKCON was far out movement. Wonderful people. And Prabhupada, wow, from another world. That's where I am. And sometimes we say, you know, those first impressions we all have in Krishna consciousness, that was carry us all our life. Well, yeah. But I don't feel that, you know, I just, you know, I'm just like, because anyway, I don't live only by remembrance of this extraordinary beginning. It's also extraordinary that what is called is how it is evolving year after year. You know, it's not less extraordinary for me. It's fantastic. It's extraordinary. You know. Every new steps, you know, it is a transcendental plan of the whole parampara, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Krishna, which is evolving. You know. It's fantastic. You know. I cannot take too seriously the black spots, you know. I just cannot, you know. You know, so many comparisons we can give, like, you know, the spots on the moon or, you know, spots on the sun. You know, it doesn't, you know. So ISKCON is not a material movement. It's not a newly created spiritual movement. It's Srila Prabhupada's movement, and it is a whole parampara, transcendental, ecstatic, compassion for the universe. We heard it's difficult to feel out, and that is for planet, and for the universe. The Lord comes, His mercy is transcendental to geographic barriers. Yeah, anniversary of ISKCON. Yeah, it's great appearance of ISKCON in the world. It was nice time, yeah, of course. Very intense, beautiful, but very difficult also. There was no congregation, no grihasthas, living outside. If I don't, stay as a brahmachari or brahmachari grihastha, I can do this. I can do that. No way. No. So very intense. But by intensity, we are forced to taste the purity also. So this is also always available. And one last thing I may say, 1 minute, is that, I read in Mayapur this year, and I don't know who said that, but we're approaching the 50th anniversary of ISKCON. And usually, I think I was very much wrong, but anyway, in the sociological story of spiritual movements, 50 years is quite an important step. Because usually after 50 years, coming to 50 years, the vast majority, or 99% of the new spiritual movement just are finished. The founder is not there anymore, and the few first big disciples are fought in between themselves, like always, and then after this and that, and then all kind of speculation, different levels, it's finished. So it's very significant. We're going to have this 50th anniversary in 4 years, 16th, ISKCON, and it is Srila Prabhupada's figure, impression, and instructions and personality is very, very alive in the movement, very much. I don't want even to say that, what else can say, no, it's stupid. Prabhupada is very much alive. It is, like it is said, if someone who is dead, he lives forever in the heart of those who love him. That's saying that. It's like that, Prabhupada, at least I really can say that, Prabhupada is very much alive in the heart of all the devotees, and all the devotees love Prabhupada. So, and he's much alive also in many different ways. Srimad Bhagavatam class every morning, Bhaktivedanta purports, and try to go deep into Prabhupada's purports, and book distribution, Prabhupada books, and the strategies of Prabhupada, and everything. So it's very much 50 years after he left. And so many big personalities, relatively speaking, of course, but big personalities, among Prabhupada's disciples and followers, very strong on different ways and like that. And this doesn't make Prabhupada diminish or disappear. And it's great accomplishment, when you are big personalities, strong-minded and big capacity, you establish yourself, so it's not easy to remain, a servant of the servants. It's not easy. So, by the Lord's mercy, by the Parampara's mercy, we made it. We didn't make Prabhupada disappear or ISKCON disappear. They helped us. They're helping us. We are not alone. It is not our movement. Like I heard sometimes, Prabhupada said, destroying the earth. Nobody can destroy the earth unless the Lord allows it. Like atomic bombs, like that. By the Lord's will, it may happen like that. So same ISKCON is so intimate creation of the Lord and His intimate devotees that it is under their control. Devi Ganesha, no. Anyway. Devi Prakriti Mashrita. Mahatmanas Tumamparta, Devi Prakriti Mashrita. Those who are Mahatmas, who are Mahatma today, chanting the Indian, spreading Krishna consciousness. Devi Prakriti, it's under the shelter of the internal energy of the Lord, Devi Prakriti. So this ISKCON is fantastic. Of course, we should not think, like Arjuna on battlefield. Well, if Krishna, okay, you want it, so that means I just, don't have to fight. You don't do it. But it's already planned. Oh, I will do it, but no, it's just a game. A mock battle because I know the result is already there. The battle, we're a winner. No, you have to really get into it. As a feeling, the Lord wants me to do it, okay, I have to do it, and I have to do it very nicely. If I don't fight, really, people in front of me, and the Kurukshetra, they're going to get us, So same for ISKCON, we know, and it is necessary, at least I feel that, that ISKCON is bright, extraordinary, as Prabhupada, as Lord Chaitanya, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it's extraordinary, it's, how can such a movement exist in the material world? I mean, really, fantastic. It's a spiritual world in the material world. So, but we have to feel that. We have to be convinced of that. But also we have to hear. Be careful. You have to be a good soldier in this movement. You have to protect. The generals in front. What they are saying. Transmit their orders nicely. Do your own duty. Don't desert. Don't make mistakes, So Prabhupada said sometimes fighting things, ISKCON may disappear, big mistake, make good mistake. But still, just to realize, or we at least we feel we may, we had the experience, this movement in the past from Lord Chaitanya, from Krishna, big flow, but sometimes become like a rivulet, a few drops, and then again. So sometimes we feel like that, ISKCON may become, very, you don't see it anymore, it's still there, but, and then you will again start again like that. So we have also to feel that, so that we are very serious, we feel that, wow, we have a strong, a big mission also, to be very intense, like that. It's not that, Prabhupada is there, Lord Chaitanya is there, it will go, no problem. No. So we have to feel that, both aspects. That's what I feel about ISKCON. Having known ISKCON and Prabhupada at these times, feeling that it was, wow, person from the spiritual world is there. One person is there from the spiritual world. Is really, is there. And this movement, Kolokira, Premadan, Harinam, Sankirtan, ISKCON, Golokira, it comes from Krishna, from Vrindavan, this movement. It comes from Lord Chaitanya. And having known that, simultaneously, excuse me, okay. No, you have to say something. They want to hear you,
Next time.
Excuse me.
I'll be here next Sunday.
Oh, next Thursday, then you can hear Krishna Baladeva Prabhu, who has his own personal realization and experiences. And, as we, anyway, I'm not going to, as we know a person, then the presenter of the person, then you can see, oh, he must have some, in the back, he must have been, big realizations also. So it's worth it if you can hear from him. And so thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much to the Lord and all